Hey folks, on this episode of Witchpolice Radio, I'm talking to acoustic soul singer Connor Biggs. Connor is on the verge of releasing his debut EP, and we were lucky enough to get previews of a few of the songs. Connor describes himself as a mix between Marvin Gaye and Ed Sheeran, and he has a voice like butter. It was really fun talking to him. He's very new on the scene, and I feel like I spend a lot of time on this show talking to artists that have been around for a long, long time. So it's always cool to hear someone new, especially when they sound this good. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Park Theatre. Please visit myparktheatre.com to check out all the great shows they have coming up.
Thank you to everyone who supports my dad's show. If you'd like to support Witchpolice Radio, go to patreon.com/witchpolice today.
You're listening to Garbage Hill, Winnipeg's first podcast network.
Alright, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I am back in my second home of the food court. It's been a while since I've been here, but if you're a regular listener to the show, you've probably heard a lot of conversations recorded here. But I'm here with a newcomer to the show. So I think maybe the best way to start things off is if you want to just introduce yourself and what you do, and then people can kind of get a feel for what your music's all about.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Connor Biggs. I'm an acoustic singer-songwriter from here in Winnipeg. My style is sort of a mix between Marvin Gaye and Ed Sheeran. Okay. You know, it's kind of like the poppy music, but soulful vocals and lyrics.
Yeah.
So,
and you have an EP that's coming out very soon.
I do, yes. So I have an EP release show coming up on November 24th at Le Garage Cafe on Provenche. Okay. And the EP should be released just after that show, sometime that week after.
Oh, cool. Okay, so it's coming up very soon.
Yes, very, very soon.
And is this the first EP you've done, first release you've done?
Yeah, very first release. Really, really excited about it. I did all the recordings myself, all the mixing, mastering. It's all done by myself, so I'm really, really proud and excited about it.
Cool, yeah, well, I'm excited to hear it. I think the first thing I kind of want to touch on is what you mentioned there with the Marvin Gaye thing. Having listened to some of your videos and things online, the soul element is very strong there. And when I'm going to interview someone, I try to look at as much stuff as I can find online. So I was going through your Instagram, and I noticed the Ray Charles thing, and you had Ray Charles, you had Goat in the comments. So I'm a massive Ray Charles fan, so at that point I was like, okay, I'll get this guy on the show. We can talk about it. So I guess as someone who's playing acoustic music, how does the soul influence kind of seep into that? Because, people see an acoustic guitar, and they automatically assume, it's going to be some kind of mellow folk, right?
Right.
And I mean, soul, it's a lot more kind of powerful, I guess, just in delivery and just the way it's kind of put out there, right? So how do you fit soul into an acoustic genre?
It's really, for me, it started with writing the lyrics. Writing lyrics that actually told a story that meant something to me. It's not all love songs. It's not all just kind of poppy, kind of the stuff you hear with every artist out there. These are lyrics. These are stories of hard times that I've been through. Real emotion goes into those lyrics, so the soul just came naturally. Okay, so the soul is coming from just the honesty of it and the genuine. Okay, yeah, that's cool. So how I guess what kind of background do you have musically? Like, have you played in bands prior to this, or is this your first attempt? You know what? I've been in music since I was about 7 years old. Okay. But the first instrument I stuck with and played was drums when I was 11, and I was actually in a death metal band.
Okay, that's very different. Yeah. Did that band go anywhere? Was it like no?
No, we actually did one show. Our one show was played at a church.
Okay, yeah.
And then we stopped short thereafter. And then I was out of music for a couple of years, but when I came back, I picked up a guitar, started singing, and just never really looked back from there.
Had you had experience playing guitar before that, or was it just sort of like, I want to be a singer now, and you...
I had a little bit of experience. My dad was a bit of a classical guitar player growing up. So he definitely tried to teach me some stuff when I was younger. Yeah. But the majority of the stuff, it came when I was about 17 years old, just watching like Sublime videos on YouTube and getting really inspired by them to pick it up.
So how do you make the transition from death metal to acoustic? Like, I mean, was the death metal, is that what you were into at the time?
Yeah. Back in the day, I was like just a hardcore metalhead. Listened to nothing but heavy music. But once I got older, once I matured a little bit, I broadened my horizons musically, and I found good music, whatever that happened to be.
Sure, yeah. Well, what would you say are like the main influences on your sound now? I mean, are there other artists that, higher profile, well-known artists that you can kind of point to and say, okay, it's not maybe the same, but it's something that kind of got you on this path towards what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest one for me when I started was Sublime.
Okay.
I love Sublime. They're one of my favorite bands. Ed Sheeran's a big one. James Bay. All those kind of older guys. But then I kind of progressed into finding Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Ray Charles.
Right.
A lot of the really like old school soul R&B guys.
Okay.
And
how did you? I mean, I love that stuff. So how did you make that progression? Like, what kind of turned you on to that stuff?
You know what? There's actually a modern guy. His name is Alan Stone.
Okay.
He's like a modern day soul singer. So I first discovered him, and then I kind of learned about what influenced him.
Right.
And so I started listening to that because I was such a big fan of this guy.
Right.
And it turns out that I love all that music as well.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned. Oh, not funny, but it's interesting that you mentioned Sublime as a big influence because when Sublime, I was listening to Sublime like in the '90s, before he even died.
Right.
I had a couple of their CDs, and my favorite thing about them was always that they obviously had a really good record collection, like just based on all the samples and all the cover songs and all the little like lyrical things they would throw in there from different songs.
Yeah.
And I found that they, almost more than being a great band, are a great introduction to so much other stuff.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
some kid who hears like what I got on the radio or something can go from there and can go to the Beastie Boys, can go to KRS-One, can go to Ani Kamosi, can go to Barrington Levy, can go all these crazy directions, and then it kind of opens up to a bigger record collection, which is kind of what you're saying with this other guy.
Yeah.
Is it opened the door to soul?
Broaden the horizons, and he introduced me to be able to find all these super old guys that are just they're legends.
Yeah, for
absolute
sure.
legends and amazing talents.
Which is kind of a cool way to get into it too. It's almost like a backdoor entrance because a lot of people are hearing that stuff first, right? A lot of people are hearing Marvin Gaye first because their parents listen to it or whatever,
right?
And then they sort of filter through that this way. You're doing the backwards way.
Yeah.
You're coming from something modern and going back, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you translate that then to what you're doing? Like, I mean, Ray Charles, for example, first of all, he's a piano player.
Yeah.
It's very different than guitar, but he's often playing with massive orchestras, right?
Yeah.
So how do you take that, such a big sound, and distill it into something acoustic and fairly intimate and personal?
Well, the thing I like to do with acoustic music, I'm a very percussive player.
Okay.
Like I have rhythm in me. Like I'm
you're a drummer, right? That helps.
Exactly. Yeah. So I am very percussive. So I generally try to get the same feel as a big band would have. But I do prefer the mellower sounds of acoustic music, and just given my lyricism, the way I write, I feel like the more calm acoustic music, it just works better for me. So I really just find a way to blend both my influences of the happy, upbeat soul music with the more, more, not to say depressing, but sadder, soul lyricism.
More of a downer, Are there folk artists that you are into? Like, I mean, are you into other people just doing the acoustic guitar thing as well?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, one of the guys opening for me on the 24th at Le Garage is Daniel Emerson.
Right, who's been on the shone.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually interviewed him right here in the same spot in the food court.
Oh, beauty.
Yeah.
So he's going to be opening for me. He's an incredible folk artist. I love all of his music. But one of the more popular guys, Damien Rice, he's an Irish,
I know that
Irish
is,
folk singer. Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Cool. Well, it's interesting too to mention a rebel named Rael because he comes from almost a hip hop background into the folk thing. So it's kind of you coming from the death metal and soul to the folk. So it's weird how everyone can sort of strip what they're doing down into something very basic, and it can still contain elements of all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you are you from Winnipeg originally?
Yeah, born and raised.
Did you grow up going to a lot of local shows?
You know what? I didn't really find local shows until I was about 15 years old.
Okay.
And then me and my bandmates at the time, when I was in the death metal band, we started trying to go to the local shows that were happening.
Yeah.
The problem was that we were all underage.
Yeah, for sure.
And then a lot of the metal shows that we wanted to go check out were all at bars and stuff. So we struggled with that a bit. But,
so there weren't the reason I ask is because depending on who I'm talking to, it could be a rapper, it could be a country singer, it could be a metal band, whatever. People often, I found, have the same sort of path into the local music scene where they started out seeing whatever band it is, and then realizing, hey, wait, I can do this too, and sort of using that as a springboard. So that's just kind of the reason I ask that a lot of the show, because I'm always wondering what was the entry point, like what was the kind of spark that, hey, wait, I can do this, I can play a show, I can record an EP.
Yeah, well, it's actually funny. The first show I ever did, I opened up for one of my mom's old coworkers. His name is Scott Hinkson.
Okay.
And he just he asked me one day, and I was super hesitant about it. We didn't even have a band name. It was just me and my old drummer at the time.
Okay.
And I was, terrified about doing it.
Sure, yeah.
But we get to show day. We end up playing the show. It was at a bar. I forget what bar it was, but we ended up having over 100 people in our audience, and we got just an amazing reception. So it was at that moment I kind of realized, I could totally do this.
This could be a thing that happens.
Yeah, this is pretty wicked.
Cool. And so now that you have the EP recorded and you're about to release it.
Yeah.
how has kind of since playing that first show, and now you're at the point where you have something to put out there? How have things changed for you? Like, I mean, have you been able to play a lot of shows in between the two?
Yeah,
leading up to this?
absolutely. Yeah, shows have just been coming more and more often. I did take a little break for a little while to just focus on some more life stuff.
Right.
But I decided to get back into the music thing, got the EP going, and then just trying to get more and more shows as they come.
Cool. And when was the EP recorded? Is it just recently as well? It's like very fresh.
Yeah, I started recording it about a month ago.
Okay.
So yeah, I just finished all the recording stuff, and now working on the mixing, and then mastering should be done very soon.
That's cool. So as the person who wrote the songs and performed the songs, when you listen back to the recorded versions, do you feel like it's captured the essence of what makes your songs? Like, I mean, is there a reflect back on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was like the most frustrating part about recording, because I'm my own worst critic. So
everyone is, I think. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So you record the song over and over again, and you want to just get that feel. You want to make sure it's as perfect as it can be for the vibe you're trying to go for. So I feel like I definitely captured that on record, and I'm very excited about it. And
it's self-produced, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So what was that, just out of kind of necessity, just because you know?
Yeah, basically
because you can too, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, I own a very modest home studio.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, and just quite frankly, I could not afford to go to an actual recording studio to do it, so I decided to just do it myself, and it came out beautiful.
Well, and I guess you have the benefit too of being an acoustic artist, so there's probably not a lot of instruments in some of the songs, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Do you play with a band as well though, like for your release show and everything? Are you gonna have...
No, it's actually just me for now. I am looking to start a band eventually.
Okay.
But right now I'm not waiting. I'm just going to do it myself.
Sure.
And if any musicians out there want to come jam with me, I'm definitely down.
Is that just out of kind of the convenience of doing it yourself, or do you think a band would fundamentally change your sound? Like,
oh, absolutely,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, for now, I'm definitely into the whole acoustic singer-songwriter thing. I love just writing my own lyrics and then being able to pour my own emotions into it without having to sort of gauge where my other musicians are at with the music.
Sure.
But one day, who knows? I would love to play with the band, but if I end up just being a solo artist, I'm totally happy about that too.
Well, I mean, and it's definitely more convenient, right? To get to a show, you just bring your guitar and show up,
exactly,
rather than a drum set and everything else. Yeah. Well, as you know from playing drums, before.
Never thought I would. It's hard for me to understand why you'd want to leave. Don't think you know what I've been through. So how can you even try to understand? Oh, whoa, and I don't know what went through your mind. Oh, whoa, can you tell me? Blinded by the love inside you, did not know what I've been trying. Oh, whoa, all I know is that it's time to go. You fooled me. Next time, let's both agree that we don't care no more. 'Cause now we are stuck in a place that I don't want to be. How could you leave me behind? After what went down, you still stood up and took her side. Oh, whoa, and I don't know what went through your mind. Oh, whoa, can you tell me? Blinded by the love inside you, did not know what I've been trying. Oh, whoa, all I know is that it's time to go. Said it's time to go. Said it's time to go. Oh, said that it's time to go. Oh, oh, no, oh, whoa, and I don't know what went through your mind. Oh, whoa, can you tell me? Blinded by the love inside you, did not know what I've been trying. Oh, whoa, all I know is that it's time to go.
Do you think, I mean, Winnipeg in general has a very strong community of singer-songwriters. I mean, whether it's, you know, more folk-leaning, more country-leaning, but there's just a huge community. Have you found, like, a place within the local music scene for that acoustic kind of style, or are you still working on that?
I'm still working on it. You know, I actually just started a new job at Long McQuaid,
Okay,
so I'm,
cool.
you know, it's a little bit tough for time to try and get out there as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
I still try to go to open mics at Sonic's, the Village Idiots.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I know them a little bit, so I try to hang out with
Did
those guys.
have you recorded anything with them? Like, I know they did that songwriters session last year.
I definitely.
That's why you sounded familiar when I first heard you. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I've seen that then. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, yeah. And so I guess open mics are a pretty viable option, too, for
Yeah, it's just, they're a perfect way to just sing a couple songs, get people listening to you, and it seems like every time I go, I get a pretty good reception, so.
Sure, that's awesome, yeah. That's what you want, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for.
Well, and I guess Long McQuaid's a good place to work, too, just because, I mean, the amount of people I've had on this show who either work or have worked there and are also musicians, like, you got a whole bunch of great people there who...
Yeah, I literally get to talk to musicians about music all day
All day,
long.
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's like me. I work in a radio station full time, and so I'm talking about radio stuff and news, and I'm doing this. It's nice to have a job where you're doing something that you're passionate about, right?
Exactly.
So,
it's really cool. A dream job for me.
Yeah. So, I had a question and it just disappeared from my head. But I guess about the release show. Who else is playing the show? I know you mentioned one of the openers.
Yeah, so a rebel named Riel and Chad Hiltz from a band called Prairie Grove. He's a country singer-songwriter.
Okay, cool.
He's awesome. He's one of my best friends, and really happy to have him on board with me.
Cool. And what's the next step then? Once you have the EP released, you've done the show, your name is kind of out there more, and you have like a physical calling card, right, of an album. Where do you go from there?
It's just more shows. Just want to hustle. Just keep playing as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And just, keep getting my name out there. Keep letting people know who I am. Keep showing off my talents to people, and hopefully just start making a name for myself out there.
Do you think that having a background of playing in a death metal band, not death metal specifically, but do you think that you can fit more on a bill? It's not necessarily a folk bill or an acoustic bill. Like, do you think that, because you have the soul elements, because you have maybe some connections from being in other bands, do you think that opens up some possibilities for you to you could open a punk show or something?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel like I'm talented enough to play with anybody.
Okay.
Because there's not a huge market in Winnipeg for the music I do. Like the soul market in Winnipeg is quite small.
Right. Whereas the folk one is huge, right?
It's absolutely huge. Yeah. So I seem to get by quite a bit on just what I bring to the table with my voice and my guitar playing.
Okay.
So that I'm hoping will eventually open more doors after this after the EP is released and people start hearing me more often.
Cool. Are you hoping to tour or anything like that? Is that, again, the convenience of just having have Guitar World travel, right?
Yeah, that's eventually going to be part of the plan for sure.
Cool. So I know you almost just said it just now about the soul thing makes you stand out in Winnipeg versus the large market of acoustic players.
Right.
But I guess how do you kind of make yourself heard among all of those people? Because especially with the internet making it easy for anyone to really record their own music, especially acoustically, and put it out there. How do you kind of rise above and make yourself heard? Because that's one of the biggest problems I think a lot of artists have, is that they could be doing something great, but there's the struggle with the marketing aspect and with the just kind of like, how do I get this to ears? Like it's there, right?
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm struggling with. But I find that the best way to do it is just through open mics.
Okay.
Because every time I do an open mic, there's always at least 1 or 2 people coming up to me telling me how much they like my music.
Okay, cool.
So there's always room for good music.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
As long as there's talent there, and as long as you're passionate about what you're doing, somebody's going to hear it and somebody's going to appreciate it, and then that's how you just build your fan base.
Right. So just basically word of mouth.
Word of mouth, and just hustling to get out there.
Yeah.
You know, don't shy away from it. Just get out there and sing your songs.
Yeah. And do you have any qualms about that, or will you play anywhere? Are you one of those guys who
I'll
just
play
play?
anywhere. Yeah.
Do you busk and stuff too?
I did a little bit in the summer. Actually, me and Danny from a rebel named Riel, we went out busking one day,
cool.
and it was really fun, actually.
Yeah. I mean, because there's just so many. It's so different than being in a band because you have the opportunity to just go, right? So yeah. So I mean, open mics is a perfect example of that. You can just show up. Okay, I'm here. Let me do some songs. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just do it on a whim too. Like you go there, just want to have a drink with your friends, and then you're like, oh, I might as well sing a song or two, right?
Yeah. Do you think that once you're probably hoping this, but once the EP comes out, are you kind of hoping that maybe your shows will be more kind of larger scale than the open mics, or are you still happy to do the circuit of open mics, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely more than happy to do the open mics, but I am hoping to get more quality shows going.
Yeah.
The open mics, they're great.
There's nothing wrong with them, no.
Yeah,
sure.
They're super fun. You get to hang out with a lot of buddies, but it's 2 songs. Everyone's there kind of just to drink and have fun. But when people go to a show, they're there to listen to the music.
They're there to see that artist, right?
Exactly, yeah. So definitely want to do some more shows in the future, but I'm happy just playing.
Cool. And then the CD release, I mean, that's kind of an example of one of those bigger shows where you're the reason people are showing up, right? So do you think that you have built up enough of a following over the time you've been doing this that you can get a good response to that show? Yeah,
we're actually expecting a pretty good crowd out.
Nice.
Got a lot of friends inviting their friends, and they're all really excited about the show coming out.
Cool.
So we're expecting a good crowd.
That's good. It's good. And you want to sell some albums too, right?
Exactly.
Some EPs,
And the best part about it, it's a free show.
Right on.
So people don't have to pay cover, so they're not paying.
There's no reason not to go, really.
Exactly. And they've got that extra money to purchase the album.
Right. And so you're doing physical albums as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is another one that kind of comes up almost every time. I'm someone who listens pretty much only to physical media. Like I don't use Spotify or any of that stuff.
That's pretty rare these days,
I'm too old and set in my ways. And it's mainly because I just have all these CDs and tapes and records.
Right.
And I don't want to get rid of them because I already have them. So it's like I'll just put them on. I'm not gonna. But yeah, it is rare these days. And I mean, especially for younger people. Like, so I'm not sure how old you are, but I imagine you're in the demographic that typically uses
Spotify.
Streaming services. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I guess what's the reason for you then to release something physically when most of the people in your peer group are probably going to be just streaming it?
Oh, it's just a dream. I've always wanted to see like my name on an album cover and people are purchasing that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really old school dream, but it's something that I'm willing to pay for and just do. Whether people would prefer to just stream it or not is kind of irrelevant to me. Okay. As long as people are getting my music, I'm.
Yeah, you're happy for them to hear it, of course.
Exactly,
Yeah. So is that your preferred method though? You stream music for your own?
Yeah.
Okay. It's so weird because I mean I'm kind of stuck in this strange place where even people who are older than me now are streaming everything, and I'm just like this weird dinosaur. But it's cool. I'm always glad to hear of anyone releasing physical stuff, because there are the occasional guy like me who's going to go to a show and be like, oh cool, there's a CD, or oh cool, there's a tape or a record. Right?
And I find at shows specifically, like there are a lot of people like that. They'll go see an artist they've never heard of, they dig the music, so then they'll just they'll buy the record right there, so that they don't.
Because it's there, and it's very weird to like buy a download card. Like that seems less. It is tangible, but it's like less tangible than having something you can actually look at with the liner notes and all that. So
exactly,
So just to kind of piggyback on that question, in this world of everyone streaming everything, do you think that sequencing an album is important? Like the songs you have on the EP, did you record them in a specific order? Do you want it to be listened to start to finish, or are they just kind of song to be heard in whatever?
Yeah, like when I recorded it, it was just kind of song. Yeah. I definitely have a plan for how they're going to be structured on the album itself, but really it's all kind of random. I think all my songs are pretty great, so I'm excited for people to just listen to them.
But is it sequenced so there's a flow though? I mean, from song to song, or are you just sort of like, it's okay if it's a single and this is a single and this is...
I mean, I have a couple ideas for singles, but the thing with my music is that no 2 songs really sound identical.
Okay.
Like, because like I have such a broad range of influences and stuff like that, my music, not every song sounds the same.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard for me to structure an album based off like an easy listening sequence or anything like that. It's just kind of what I think is going to work out best.
Okay. No, fair enough. That's,
Yeah.
It's always an interesting question, though. Just because like there's so many different answers. Some people will only do digital. They won't even bother with the CDs or whatever.
Well, it's probably more cost effective to do it
I
that
think
way.
so. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's just going to be so badass seeing myself on a professional CD.
Fair enough. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so you're getting depressed and everything. You're
Yep.
yeah. Nice. Okay.
With my head held high, I begin to realize that I can fly. Ain't no love inside. All that speaks to me is tearing down these lies. Oh. Love comes as easy as love can go. It takes its toll from head to toe. And if you want it, you can make it so. So that I just don't know why I need to go and fly and fly and fly and spread my wings and fly. Oh. I've done things never said to you. Smoking, drinking's not something brand new. Oh, well, you best believe that I don't care what's wrong or right. Hey, when I'm gone, I only feel alive. I've made up my mind. It's time for me to fly. To fly. To fly. And spread my wings and fly. Oh. 'Cause if you take a second look, what you'll see's not what you'll get. I've got my fix, I've been set up all the time. I'm bound to go, I'm heading home, where I know I'm free to fly. Choice is mine, we're taking off one more time. And fly and fly and fly and spread my wings and fly. Oh.
Is the EP just because these are the songs you have now, and are you hoping to do a full length later, or is EP the format of choice for you?
For now, this is the format of choice. It's going to be an easy, half an hour of listening.
Sure.
Anybody has half an hour a day to listen to some good music. So.
You'd hope so, yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely have more originals than what I'm putting onto the record.
Okay.
But these are the ones that I think are my absolute best. The ones that people seem to love when I perform them live.
Okay.
So I just want to release those music out into the world and get some attention that way.
Okay. Do you think that there's anything that, I guess, what do you think people are picking up on in your music? Like people who come to you and they buy the album because they enjoy it. What element of the songwriting do you think is appealing? Like, what draws people in about what you're doing?
People love my voice.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to sound too cocky.
No, you have a good voice, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, but people generally seem to be very, very impressed by my singing.
Okay.
So that tends to draw people in. And my songwriting, you know, again, with the passionate lyrics, the real stories, the dark times, people can relate to that stuff, you know? And I think that really resonates with a lot of people. And then when you sing it passionately and proudly,
that helps. It helps to sell the message, right?
Exactly,
yeah. Where we didn't really touch on this before. We were talking about your background as a musician, but where does the singing come from? Where did you get that voice, and how did you develop it? Just is there?
It's funny because I apparently, according to my mom, I grew up singing. So like, I would wake up and I would start singing random songs in the morning.
Sure.
But I never really took it seriously until I was about 19 years old.
Okay.
And then after that, it was through Sublime, finding Ed Sheeran, James Bay,
right.
You know, all those guys. It just kind of happened one day. I have no idea where the soul comes from.
Okay.
I think
it's just always there.
Yeah, it's there.
That's cool. So did you? It's just interesting to think that you had that in you and you didn't really start using it until now. So. You had that even in the death metal band days. You could have been.
I could have been the guttural vocal guy.
Yeah.
Blew up my vocal cords.
Right, and never sang again. Yeah. I think it's kind of cool that you keep mentioning Sublime because for me, Sublime was a band that I was really into in like 96 to 98 kind of time frame. It was like, and I like I said, I like them as a kind of a springboard to so many different other artists.
Right.
But it's always interesting to hear a band that one person sort of sees as being stuck in a certain place in time. And then hearing someone years later also appreciating it the same way.
Yeah.
So I guess what is it about them that really kind of drew you in?
You know, I love the rhythms. I think that Eric is one of the best bassists in music history. I mean, he's just so solid. And with Sublime themselves, I mean, they cover so many different genres. Like, they always maintain that sort of West Coast reggae feel to them. But, you know, they cover so many genres. And Bradley is he's a soul singer. You know, he's not like, you know, a soul singer.
Yeah, but he's
definitely
soul
got
in the
soul
vocals. Sure.
And, I mean, I've always loved them.
Fair enough, yeah. I mean, I did too. I wouldn't say I love them now, but I have listened to them kind of like since the time that I placed them into my brain, and I still dig it. But it's for some reason they're compartmentalized in like, okay, here's the time period they existed in. It's cool. Obviously there's staying power there, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Out of curiosity, what do you think of the new version with that other guy singing?
Actually, it was Rome Ramirez.
Yeah.
I first found it was a Rome Ramirez like acoustic video where he was just singing by himself some cover songs. Okay. And that's when I decided like I could do that. I could pick up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And funny enough, I actually got to see him. I don't know if you're familiar with the band The Dirty Heads.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So back in 2014, I got to see them open. The Dirty Heads were headlining at some small club. I forget which one it was. But Rome Ramirez was doing his solo project, opening for them in front of like 200 people. And I was front row. We made eye contact a couple times, and like that was my idol.
Oh, that's your guy, right? That's okay.
So that was a pretty crazy experience.
Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting that he's your idol because like I think of him as a guy who is kind of almost karaokeing another band, like, you know what I mean? He's like imitating a style. So it's kind of cool that the guy you're idolizing is someone who kind of made his name imitating someone else's vocal sound, if you know what I mean. Like,
Well, it's funny because growing up, like when I was into the metal stuff, I was never into Sublime. Like I heard the hits like Santeria and What I Got and stuff like that, but I just never really, it never really spoke to me.
Yeah.
But then I found Rome Ramirez, figured out that he was singing for Sublime now.
Okay.
Went back and listened to those old originals.
So that's the back door way of getting it again.
Yeah. No, I don't do anything the easy way.
No, apparently not. No, that's kind of cool. So, okay, the EP, it's coming out. What's the day of the show?
November 24th, Le Garage.
Okay, and again, the openers are?
A Rebel Named Brielle and Prairie Grove.
It's a free show?
Free show, yeah. So just show up, have some drinks, have some amazing food, and come listen to some crazy good music. Cool.
And then the EP, once it's out, obviously buy it at the show should be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But where's it going to be available after that?
It's going to be available everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, hopefully. Basically anywhere you can stream music, you're going to find my music.
Okay. And then anywhere physically? Are you going to try and put it in any local stores or anything like that? Or?
I'm going to try to. The first thing I'm going to do after the show is going to be doing the streaming stuff.
Sure.
But once that gets going, I'm definitely going to try to get into some local music stores.
Cool. And then I guess buying it at shows is probably the best way to get it from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you have anything planned show-wise after the release, or is this just kind of everything building to this point?
Yeah, this has been my main focus for the past couple months, is just getting ready for this show coming up.
Okay.
But I'm hoping that this show opportunity is going to lead to plenty more.
Yeah, of course. You hope people will show up and be like, hey, I have a band that sounds like that. You want to play with me? Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
Cool, okay. And then if someone's hearing about you for the first time on this podcast, whether it's before the release show or after, what's the best thing for them to do to find out more about maybe upcoming shows you might have or hearing your music, things like that?
Yeah, for sure. Check out facebook.com/ConnorBiggsMusic. And you can also see me on Instagram at Connor.Biggs1.
Okay.
And I've posted plenty of singing videos on both
Yeah, I've
of
seen
those
a few of
pages,
those. Yeah.
So yeah, just check it out, see what you think, and if you enjoy it, come to the show on the 24th.
Cool. And if you want to hear more episodes of this show, go to witchpolice.com. All 230 whatever episodes are there for, 320 something episodes are there for free download and streaming. You can go back as far as you want if you're crazy. And you can also tune in on Sundays at midnight to UMFM and hear older episodes, kind of getting a second wind. So it's November now. This might not air on UMFM till June or something.
Yeah.
At which point the album's already out though, right? So you can hear this and just go right out and download it, or go buy it or something. So it's kind of an extra added boost, I guess, for the person I'm talking to. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good luck with the EP and the show, and thanks for talking to me.
Right on. Thank you for having me.
Last night I felt so ashamed about all the things I did. I can't help myself no more. Don't wanna be addicted. I can't wait for this to end. Well, my fate rests in my hands. No more living this way. Don't wanna be addicted. Look at the mess I've made. Oh my God, oh why did I go this way? Spiraling out of control. I'm so far gone, I can't come home. Wasting time and losing life on the only things that make me alright. All I know is that no one knows I'm here. Oh, I don't wanna be addicted. I don't feel regret anymore for doing things I've never thought before. I've made mistakes, I know I have. Don't wanna be addicted. They always take me to a better place, somewhere sober me can't replace. And oh God, what have I done? Don't wanna be addicted. Look at the mess I've made. Oh my God, oh why did I go this way? Spiraling out of control. I'm so far gone, I can't come home. Wasting time and losing life on the only things that make me alright. All I know is that no one knows I'm here. Oh, 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 oh. Look at the mess I've made. Oh my God, oh why did I go this way? Spiraling out of control. I'm so far gone, I can't come home. Wasting time and losing life on the only things that make me alright. All I know is that no one knows I'm here. Oh, I don't wanna be addicted. I don't wanna be addicted. I don't wanna be addicted. I don't wanna be